time to resurface coming up. And I will see you all on the other side. Good evening, beloved children. This is your group Souls Arena, echoing the wholeness of your being, feeling into every single resolve of your being to stay open, to keep practicing, to adore the light that you are, to be grateful for small things, little things, as well as for the very universe that you are. These are the things we notice. We are also feeling into a knocking on the door. This is indeed a time, a rare time, of great opportunity for healing. A knocking on the door. Knock, knock. Who's there? The heart of humanity. The heart of humanity, who? The heart of humanity, you. And this is no joke, beloved ones. This is real. This is the time, and we know that you know this, but this is the time that many of you have sensed for lifetimes that would eventually come to the planet. The time between the rock and the hard place, where a mighty fusion happens, and a fusion that creates an explosion of love all around this dear planet. And so it is not a nuclear bomb that creates this enormous cloud that surrounds the planet. Rather, it is the fusion of love that explodes, that ignites, and that restarts humanity's heart. And of course, it is not just humanity's heart, but it is the heart of every sentient being, every plant, every animal, every grain of sand, every molecule of air and water, everything is on the cusp of refinding its beautiful and enduring purpose. We are grateful that you have allowed us to sort of give the opening speech. We do have many beautiful, beautiful, loving souls that have lined up to speak. And we are going to withdraw so that your beloved Lady Nada may come forward. As she does, do give her your love and your light. Oh, beloved ones, my ancestors, my twins. Why do I call you my ancestors? Because, dear ones, I was born in your cradle. I was born in your philosophy. I was born in your energy. Many centuries ago, when I walked upon this planet, and you all were there, I was born into the weaving of your beautiful energies. You are my parents. You brought me here. Under your gaze, I grew and found joy and contentment in a simple thing such as a pot or a kettle, in an anthill, in the song of a bird. Under your tutelage, I learned to write what was in my heart. Under your gentle and compassionate gaze, I learned to sit on a swing and swing back and forth and notice the rhythm of my swinging, the same rhythm of this beautiful universe. Are you surprised that you birthed me, that you are my ancestors, that you are my parents? Should it be so surprising that I am the result of your collective genius, that my ascendant mastery happened because all of you paid attention and noticed and decided to keep your eyes upon me? Is that a surprise to you? Well, dear ones, know this to be true. You are my ancestors. You are my parents. And here we are, and now you are my children. You are my beloved ones. Here I am with you again. Not only your dear child from a very long time ago, but now your mother, here to speak with you, here to nurse you, here to comfort you, here to remind you that you are everlasting beings and that you have always been able to see what is precious in your midst. How were you to know those many centuries ago that that shy young girl would ever amount to anything? How were you to know, Diane, that that shy young thing that liked to listen to you play the flute would ever become a kind of spiritual flautist herself? How were you to know, Cecilia, brave one, that one that stood out in the archer's field and raised your bow and arrow high? How were you to know that that shy young girl watching you, observing you meet your mark so beautifully and so perfectly, would one day grow up and find her spiritual mark and be able to meet it? How were any of you to know way back then that you were my inspiration, that you were my cradle, that you were my parents and my tutors, my aunts and my uncles, and that you saw something in me that I never knew existed until you called me forth and reminded me that I was a pearl in the making? Now I am your mother. Now I am your aunt. Now I am your grandmother. Now I am your parent. And I am here to say to all of you, my dearest ancestors, that I see you before me, becoming, existing, thriving as the ascendant masters I have always known you to be. This is your rock and hard place. And as the light that you are exchanging such levels of compassion with one another that it blows the mind, to use your vernacular. It is absolutely mind expanding to see the amount of love that is pouring from your heart chakras all around this planet towards one another, all around this planet towards every living plant and animal and flying one and swimming one, and towards every aspect of this universe. You, my inheritors, you, my children, now pick up the mantle. Now I, as your parent, observe you growing leaps and bounds. Who would have thought, who would have thought, I heard you say, that someone like Lady Nada would look upon me and see me as a living master? Well, my dear ones, I say the same thing to you. Who would have thought that you would have ever seen anything like a living master in me when I was but a child? And yet you did. And yet you did. And so as you bloom, and as you fasten your girdles, your seatbelts, as you fasten your sashes of compassion, your mantles of discovery, as you adjust to this beautiful rock and hard place that you are living in now, know that what you are doing is creating a nuclear explosion of love, breaking apart the rock and the hard place, moving mountains, creating rivers and deserts. You are the very explosion of love that was foretold many, many years ago. It is only right and only natural that I come forward and address you in a truthful way. Hello, my mothers. Hello, my fathers. And hello, my children. Hello, my dear disciples who have also been my teachers. Can you now see that we truly are in this together? And as you walk through what feels to you like a shadow land, know that you are walking in great, great light. I'm proud of you. I love you. And I am grateful to each and every one of you for taking such good care of me when I was a small and little one. It is my honor to take good care of you now. Blessings to you. It is your group soul, Serena, and we are so grateful to our blessed Lady Nada for coming forward and bringing us this beautiful information for all of us. And as we gather in the silence, we are aware of a beautiful one coming forward. He also would like to speak to us. He has had many names. You may know him as Saint Nicholas. He approaches and we withdraw. Good evening. I would like to echo everything that the Blessed Lady Nada brought forward. I'd like to thank all of you for holding me when I was the orphan child abandoned at your church door, for bringing me a cup of water when I was the old man leaning on my staff, hungry, dizzy, and wandering. I would like to thank each and every one of you for stopping along your path, stopping to attend to me, to make sure that I was all right. I would like to thank all of you for embracing the knowing that love is inconvenient, that it stops us en route, that we stop and pay attention. The errand of love is, while it is inconvenient to the human aspect of you, it is also divinely efficient. For in all these other lifetimes, dear ones, when you stopped and addressed my needs and took care of me, did you have any idea that you were at work in the creation of a Saint Nicholas, of a human being that would take it upon himself to be a gift to others, to bring forth goodness? This is my spiritual aspect. In my earthly walk, I had other aspects, but I am speaking to you from the spiritual Saint Nicholas. No, not that jolly old Saint Nick, not Santa Claus, not that person. I am speaking to you from the heart of a man that you helped to create. When you picked me up from the street, when you fed me, when you dressed my wounds, you reminded me that I am a dignified being. You reminded me that I mattered, that I counted, and you made me feel as though I could make a difference. Later on, in further evolutions of my soul, when I returned to the planet, I became the man that you stopped to take care of. I became a man who cared for others. I am that being that you have created. And I am here to say thank you. Thank you for stopping what you were doing in the marketplace. Thank you for feeding me. Thank you for taking me into your home. Thank you for giving me a place to sleep. You created a Saint Nicholas. And I am here to say to you today that you are creating amongst yourselves another Saint Nicholas, someone, a unified heart that comes up through the crust of your being and makes sure that no one is left behind. I'm grateful to you. And I want to assure you that you are in the midst of creating that spirit of St. Nicholas now. Thank you, my parents. Thank you, my teachers. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Your group soul, Zarina, is here, and we want to thank St. Nicholas for coming forward and speaking to us, carrying forward this theme that we are learning about, that we have cradled and helped to give birth to those mastering energies that we aspire to be. Thank you. And now we are going to step aside because we have somebody else who is here. And what an honor and a privilege this is, as always, to let forward the beautiful energy of the Magdalene. She is here. Oye, 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 she will come. This is a call that often is offered to the spirit of the Divine Mother. I want to say it out loud to all of you. Oye, 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 she will come. Pay attention, pay attention, pay attention. She will come. I know that it has surprised some of you to hear that you have been the parents of the mastering energies. I want to continue along these lines and let you know that you have been my fostering energy as well. Does it surprise you to know that there are, for each and every one of you, there is credible evidence? If you feel into your soul topography, you will remember specific details of how you helped me in my journey to found a safe community for myself and my followers in France. April, do you remember the pair of sandals you made for me? For you surely did. Barbara, do you remember the way you handed me your purse without even thinking? Do you remember that you made it possible for me to settle in a tiny, remote place when I thought I had absolutely no revenue? Along you came and you handed me your bag of gold. Do you remember? There are many such instances, my beloved ones, when you were the ones who cradled me. You made my journey and my mission possible. Is it any wonder, then, that in your time of need, I would not be here for you? Since you took me in when I was a stranger in a strange land, since you taught me your language, since you fed me and clothed me and gave me a place to sleep, since you guarded my bed to make sure that I would be safe, why? Why would I not come and do the same for you and take care of you as you sleep and help you to feel safe and bring to your shoes new understanding and feed you with spiritual wealth? Of course I will, for you did the same for me, the very same for me. Doubt it not. You, dear ones, were my lifeline when I needed it most. You, dear ones, enabled me to carry forward my healing ministry. You, dear ones, enabled me to write my gospel and share it with my friends. It was you. Of course it was. I want you to know this. And so here I am for you, dear souls, the ones that took care of me, put shoes on my feet, food in my belly, wrapped me in your beautiful warm blankets, and ensured me of a good night's sleep. I am here to do all the same for you. And I am here to say to you, Oye, 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 she is come. She, the spirit of the divine feminine, she, Chachma, she, Sophia, she, the Shekinah, she, the divine mother, oye, 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 she is come. Do not let your hearts despair regarding the unsettling visage on your television, in your newspapers. Do not let your heart despair. I also know despair. I walked through it myself. I know what it feels like to have a very dear friend die before you. I also know what it feels like to have that dear friend rise up before you. For those of you who feel that your best friend, your country, your democracy has died before you, I am here to say that you are also observing your best friend, your democracy, rise up in front of you. Do not despair. There is a saying in the Catholic Church: Christ has died, alleluia. Christ is risen, alleluia. Christ will come again, alleluia, alleluia. Whether you believe in what is called the Christ or not, that doesn't matter. All that matters is that you know that there is always reason to rejoice, for every single death precedes a resurrection, and every resurrection precedes the coming of a new consciousness, a beautiful, brave consciousness that you are giving birth to. My darling ones, my dear ones, I am here with you. I love you. Do not be afraid. You have friends in high places. Doubt it not. Bless you. And this is Zarina. And we want to thank our beautiful Magdalene for coming forward. We can feel the master teacher Emmanuel wanting to come forward as well. And so we step aside and allow his presence to fill your hearts. Please give him your love and your light. Well, good evening, my darling nieces, for that you are. I'm not going to pretend that I don't know any of you. I'm not going to pretend that each and every one of you didn't do exactly the same for me as you did for the Magdalene, as you did for Lady Nada, as you have done over and over and over again. For me as well, you see, I relied upon the kindness of your compassion many, many times. These were in the lifetimes in the Middle East, and many of you were living in caves and afraid to come out of your caves at night, afraid of the hordes of tribes that were around at that time, afraid that you would be attacked, afraid that you would be killed, afraid that you would be murdered just for trying to find food for your families. And yet, do you recall that each and every one of you left the safety of your cave when you heard me, an abandoned child, crying for help? Do you know that you are the reason I became the master of love and compassion that I am today? Do you know that it is your beautiful compassion for me, your willingness? Do you know that it is because of your kindness, your willingness to bring me into your family fabrics so many times? Do you understand that it is your kindness, your compassion, your love that taught me that the power of love is all that really exists? You cradled me. You took care of me. You fed me. You clothed me. You gave me a safe place to be, each and every one of you. Yes, there is a specific place. I heard you ask, and yes, there was. It was in what you call Saudi Arabia, in that area of the world. That's where it happened. But because of you, I became fascinated with the power of love. Because of you, I decided to let everything else go and be myself, the bearer of the good news of compassion, the bearer of the unifying message that is always ours to do, to bring light where light appears not to be, to bring love where hatred seems to be. How do I know this message? I know it because you taught it to me. You taught it to me when you were a Bedouin tribe, when you yourselves were starving, when you yourselves were frightened, and you went scurrying out of your cave to bring me into safety. I've never forgotten it. And now I'm here because you and your kindness have drawn me here, and I am here now to take care of you. I am not off somewhere in a sanctified cave I am not somewhere on a distant mountain, a holy man seeking enlightenment or nirvana. I am a human, just as you are, fully human and fully divine. Thank you. But I am well practiced in being human, and I am not here to deny your suffering. I am here to remind you that you have created the conditions for soul mastery to thrive in. Because of your love, I have become a storyteller of love. I am grateful to you. And I say to you once again, dear ones, that you are creating the ripe and fertile conditions for a masterful consciousness. Do you notice that your speakers tonight are all called either saints or masters? Do you find that interesting? Perhaps you are really beginning to digest that we are here because you gave birth to us, just as you are giving birth to your own mastery. I love you, my dear ones. I always have, and I always will. I'm very close. Bless you. And we thank our Master Teacher Emmanuel for coming forward and speaking to us so beautifully. We know that we have one more speaker, and we are waiting for the speaker to come forward. And here he is. And so we are so pleased to present and allow you to bring your attention to President Gerald Ford, who would like to share his thoughts with you. We withdraw so that President Ford may speak. Gosh, do you even remember me? I'm kidding. I know you do. Well, dear ones, I'm really delighted to be here with you tonight, especially among such esteemed company. I'm not an ascendant master. No, not by any means, really. But I have been your president. I have sat in that position. I do understand the office. I have sworn allegiance to the Constitution. I have sworn to uphold it and protect it. And I have borne witness as an America that I thought could never really exist came forward in my lifetime. Were there disappointments? Oh, yes, big disappointments. Was I often made fun of? You bet. I remember that well. But there is something that I carry with me at all times. And it is something that Harry Truman had on his desk. You may remember it. The buck stops here. Well, I had something just like that on my desk. I don't think it belonged to Harry Truman. I don't know if it was in those words exactly, but it was my thought. Every time I came and sat in the Oval Office, I thought, Harry Truman was right. The buck stops right here with me. And sometimes that was overwhelming, truly overwhelming, so much so that I would put my head in my hands and ache to be an ordinary citizen, ache not to hold the mantle of the presidency. But I learned so much from that time of assuming that mantle of leadership and doing my best to live with that motto, the buck stops here. And my dear friends, I'm here to say that all of you are now sitting in the Oval Office. All of you are now the president, and the buck stops with you. It is your responsibility now to uphold the Constitution and to defend it. No matter what you see, no matter what you hear, no matter what is going on, no matter the noise or the confusion, I want you to know that as far as I'm concerned, each and every one of you is the president of the United States. And the buck stops with you, meaning this is your responsibility. But the buck also moves with you, doesn't it? Yes. It stops with you. It stops where you decide it stops, and it moves with you. It moves where you decide it moves. I heard these exalted souls tell you the stories of how, when they were young or little or vulnerable or mistreated or orphaned or lost or widowed or betrayed, that it was all of you who stepped in and took care of them and raised them to be the ascendant masters that they are today. I'm here to say to you that in a very different way, you did the same thing with me. You raised me to be the president I eventually became. And now I'm here to do the same for you. I'm here to raise you to become the president that I know you can be. I'm here because I believe in you. And I'm here because I know you will not swallow your responsibilities. I know you will rise up. I know you will defend the Constitution. I know that you will do everything in your earthly power to stand up for the rights of every single sentient being, man, woman, child, tree, rock, four-legged one, all the living beings. I know you will do this. This is why I am proud to be an American. I am proud of what I know to be true of you and many, many people just like you. Do not be dismayed. It is, yes, a shaky time. Indeed, that's true. But it is also the time in which the Constitution is, I believe, rediscovered, re-employed, refound, resurrected, brought to life in a way that finally means something for every least member of this society. I salute you, and I am here to defend you as you do what you are called to do, to defend the promise of democracy, whether that means you allow somebody to go in front of you in the grocery store. That's part of democracy, isn't it? Or whether you allow that person to cut in front of you in traffic. Yes, that's democracy too. You each have your ways of defending democracy. And I am saying to you that I salute you. I'm here to be your chief of staff. I'm here to help you know that the buck stops with you and the buck moves with you. Let's go. Let's move. Be inspired. Your friend, Gerald Ford. And this is your group soul, Serena. And in this now moment, we feel the energies of constancy of generosity, of the expansion of the heart, come and invite you to a table filled with blessing. Come and sit at this table, a table of constancy, generosity, and expansion. Come and know and taste and see and feel the goodness of the spiritual equation of life. Come and feel it. Sit at this banquet table. This is what's really happening. Keep your eyes fixed on this banquet table of constancy, of generosity, of spiritual expansion. These are the fruits of your labors and the fruits of all others that have come before you, as well as the fruits of those that you are giving birth to now. We are proud of you. We love you. Sit at this table now and gaze upon and think of all the masterful energies that you have helped along the way. Think of St. Nicholas. Think of Lady Nada. Think of the Magdalene. Think of Emmanuel. And think of Gerald Ford. All of these energies, these leading energies that you have sustained and nourished. And you will do the same again, won't you? It is now time, beloved ones, to feel and know that you have made an agreement with your physical bodies to be spiritual beings fully present in a limited physical shape, to be unlimited love within a personality, to be everlasting life within a discrete physical body. Now is the time to remember the toes on your feet, the fingers on your hands, the hairs on the top of your head. Now is the time to know that just as you have cradled others, you are being cradled. Bless you. We love you. Namaste.